This next hypothesis is kind of interesting, and I feel like a little more well accepted by culture, but then there's actually a lot of medical controversy around this. The endorphin hypothesis. Okay, so endorphins are connected to like positive mood and well-being. I remember learning about this in medical school, but a lot of times when we're measuring endorphins in the body, we measure what's called peripheral endorphins. Okay, and how we measure those is we get blood draw from somebody, from like somebody's arm, right? Versus like, can all of those endorphins necessarily pass through the blood brain barrier? And if you don't really have an understanding of what that is, it's the blood brain barrier only allows molecules of certain size to necessarily pass through that interface between what the blood and then the brain, CSF and other fluid is up there, cranial spinal fluid. Okay. So are central acting endorphins the same as peripheral endorphins? Are these all the same that are released when we exercise? And I thought there was one very interesting point. Like endorphins, like an opiate, an endogenous opiate, which means like something that your body actually does produce some like things that hit on an opiate receptor. So if you give someone a naloxone injection, okay, which hits on that opioid receptor like we know about, we can get into the pharmacology, but the runner's high is not blocked by that naloxone injection, which hits on a mu opioid receptor, okay, which is what we think, or I guess what we know, of course, what the like an opioid like morphine or heroin or fentanyl kind of hits upon. It helps with like opioid cravings, kind of can take out some of that reward feeling because they think it works in hitting that with alcohol use disorder and also binge eating disorder, trichotillomania, people pulling out their hair, picking at their skin, even. We do use naloxone in these encounters, and it has limited evidence. But in this, the runner's high is not blocked by a naloxone injection.
I'm
It's
not
the
gonna lie,
same.
you're kind of blowing my mind right now.
Kind of weird.
Because in medical school, that's like the one thing that we learn, right? Like when you're the runner's high, when you're running a marathon,
Right.
you get these endorphins. That's how you're able to overcome pain of running such long distances, and that's how you're
Right.
able to sustain that positive emotion. And we're kind of taught it. I mean, I thought it was presented as like the core, hard, like solid truth. But I guess it just
Right.
goes to show that these theories that we kind of take for granted as the absolute truth, our scientific understanding is changing all the time, and everything is up for discussion and debate. So in this case, I mean, if naltrexone doesn't take away the runner's high, I'm kind of inclined to say that maybe it's not, right? It can't be opioids.
Who knows? I mean,